Hello, peeps. I know it's been forever, but you know what I'm going to say, life. But it is Memorial Day weekend, and the academic year has come to a close, and I feel like I can breathe again. So I have been Project Life scrapbooking the entire year of 2017, and I've kept up pretty well. So I thought I would give you a walkthrough on where I am so far this year. So without further delay, let's go. So I think you saw it in January, the beginnings of this layout soon after I actually reorganized my space. And so I have decided this year that pretty much I'm going to use the smaller size photos, 2.5 by 3.5, and also a smaller size 4 by 6, which is probably like a 3.5 by 5.5. So that's what I've been doing. I really enjoy the white space around the corners. It works for me. The other thing that I've been trying to do pretty consistently is make sure I get an adequate journaling, not just journaling on the photograph itself. And most of the time, I have included my date card right here in the center. The logic for me was that even if I use a different Project Life page protector, that this center card is always here, whether there's a 3x4 set up with 2 right here, or whether it's all or 4x6 set up, or all 3x4 cards. It also is worth letting you know that I was just debating, driving myself crazy, trying to figure out whether or not I was going to use this new 9x12 format. And I have to say, I am absolutely delighted with the new format. I mean, the one downside is that I only have the option of purchasing the 9x12 page protectors from Studio Calico. So I hate that piece of it, but otherwise the format has been wonderful. I haven't had to do any inserts yet. It's given me just enough space, I think, to do what I want to do every single week. So just a little bit of food for thought for you. So this week, we just straightened up from the Christmas holiday season. We also did a little bit of I don't want to call it sightseeing in DC, because my son had an assignment to go see a couple of things, but it was things that we haven't seen in, I don't know, 15 plus years. So it ended up being, as I have here, a very eye-opening experience for all of us. All right, so week 2, we had this extremely warm weather. I cannot believe how warm it was. And the kids, my oldest was able to get out with his longboard and get a little skating in. My youngest got his cast off of his wrist, and just in kind of the normal flow, I got a little bit of scrapbooking in as well, so that was quite enjoyable in week 2. And then let's see, week 3, we decided as a family that and with all of our friends, that we were going to go to the mountains. We got a big house in the mountains, and we all shut off our phones and unplugged from TV, and we played board games with the kids. We took long hikes. We discovered waterfalls in the mountains, and it was just a wonderful opportunity to center ourselves with the friends and people that we love at the beginning of the year. So I think that's something that we might just have to do again. Wonderful photographs for this week. And as usual, I like to pair color photographs with black and white. I like the balance. And so I think that's something that I will continue to do. Okay, next week, I actually did not have a lot of photographs for this week. And so when that happens, I always tend to have a few things on hand that I just randomly take. So I love taking pictures of the sky when I'm sitting in evening traffic. The sky can just take my breath away. Just beautiful. And often I end up taking a selfie of myself in the car, because I get to the end of the week and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't take enough photos. So these are great fillers. I don't know if I actually took these this particular week or whether or not I just stuck them in, which is what I do when I have a week with limited photographs. But my husband and I did try out a new restaurant in the neighborhood, and so that was enjoyable. And so I just kind of did a little bit of journaling there, but again, it was a pretty uneventful week for us. And then week 5, for whatever reason, I did put this date card here instead of here. But most of the time, I've been pretty consistent putting it here. So I had plenty of things to journal about this week. I tried to take a photograph in a dark room with the light in the back. I got this idea from Allie Edward maybe like a year ago. She was doing tips about photography. And often she catches her kids with their one reading light on in their room. And it's a really beautiful look. So I thought I'd try that with my son, and he was in the bathroom and all the other lights were out. And actually turned out pretty doggone cool. So that's something I think I might even attempt again in the future. Okay, so my oldest turned 16, and he had a birthday party with some of his lacrosse buddies and school friends. And that was an interesting evening, not on his part, but on some of the folks at the restaurant. I will not go into that, but everybody walked away safe and sound, and they will have a story to tell. It's all good. So that was week 5 for us. All right. Week 6, ran into one of my students, and it was girls athletic week, and so we had some folk come to talk to young ladies about being athlete students, and that was pretty cool. My oldest had to go, this is my oldest, he had to go to the doctor. So he weighs 163, he's 95th percentile, and he's like just under or just at 6 feet tall. He is all muscle. It's so crazy to me. I like to tease him and tell him he's too flabby, when of course he's got a 6-pack, which is hilarious. So that's our week. I also got the big big date stamp roller from Studio Calico. I feel like I'm a little kid. I'm like, all the kids have it. I want one too. So I did decide to purchase it. I like it. I don't know. In this technique of stamping all of the dates on one card, I saw a woman on YouTube do it. I can't remember her name right now. She does beautiful, beautiful Project Life pages. So I thought I would try this. It's a little bit busy for me, so I don't think I repeated this particular technique, but I do like using the stamp with just 2 dates, and I tried that later on, and I'll show you that in a moment. Okie dokie. This is probably the busiest page I've created so far, and not my favorite. I thought I wanted to be really, really crazy and fun with this page, which I guess it is, but it's just a lot going on color-wise for me. But you know, that's fine. I had fun creating it. Lots of journaling. My son was practicing his American Sign Language. Also got the boys doing homework this week, which was pretty neat. I had to do a meeting, what is it, like a Google Hangout meeting, and so got a snap of me doing that. Hung out with some friends and their husbands on the weekend, and it was crazy warm weather. And so we sat outside and had dinner. It was bizarre how warm our weather was this particular weekend. And then where we live, there is a county person that makes the phone calls to say that we've got inclement weather, either ice or snow. And whenever this man calls, his name is Wade, it means that there's going to be a delay or school is canceled. Well, Wade has not called once this school term, and so the kids are dismayed, and they, at my son's high school, they covered a rock in paint and said, "Where is Wade?" because they are very disappointed that they have not had a snow day yet. We get up to 15 snow days because they build in extra class time throughout the year, and they haven't been able to use one yet. Crazy. All right. So week 8, moving right along. Again, look, 76 degrees. That's crazy. And this is February, end of February. Usually we've had a couple of snowstorms by this point. So some good journaling here, and a couple of photos. And I think one of the reasons why this 9 by 12 format is so wonderful is that when I have a week with lots of photos, I can use all 3 by 4s. And that just creates plenty of space. And again, at least this year so far, I have not needed to create an insert. Now, it might be when we go on our family summer vacation. That's the one time that I do need to add some inserts because I know I'll go photo happy. But I haven't had to thus far, and I'm really appreciating that. Okay, so we finally jump over into March. I'm trying a little bit of stamping. So I used a stamp, I think it's Studio Calico. It says week number, in review, and here I actually included the dates. A little bit of printable label, just half on the bottom of the photograph, which, there we go, you can see it. And my son has returned to enjoying his Legos again. I think you can see this. So one of the other reasons, again, why I like using the smaller photographs is that it gives me this little space to do things like this on the bottom, which I enjoy, or here on the top, using a little embellishment right here. And of course, in this case, I think I used the larger photograph and not the smaller, actually, in both of these, because I was trying to experiment and see which one I liked. And I suppose both are okay, but I do like having the extra space. Now, the other thing that I'm not sure if you've noticed is that I've decided pretty much to give up the curved edges and go with the straight corners. Oh, I thought I would never do this, but I'm liking it right now. I really am. So pretty much that's what I've done, but obviously I still have plenty of curved cards, so I am sliding some of those in along the way. All right, so this week we had lots of going on. My husband and I did some antiquing, went out to dinner with the girlfriend. My husband and I went to lunch before I went out to dinner with the girlfriend, went to the doctor's office, caught a shadow pic of my son, another evening sky photo. My boys were sitting in the same room, kind of playing video games together. That doesn't happen much. My oldest jumped in bed with my husband and I one evening, and that I had to grab my camera and tell them to freeze because that was just so cute, especially because he's so doggone big. Another doctor visit photo. So lots of photos this week, but plenty of space, and it, I think, worked out well. Okay. So week 11, we finally got snow. I mean, and it wasn't even much. It was maybe 3 or 4 inches, which was nothing. However, folk in Virginia lose their mind and they freak out. And so classes indeed were canceled. It was spring break for me though, right. So classes weren't canceled. The boys just weren't in school. That's right. It was just crazy. So they got snow on their spring break, which is mid-March. The weather doesn't know what it's doing. And at the end of the week, I had to go on a business trip. So I left my husband to keep everything in control. So I took a few pictures while I was out and about. That was a crazy week. Oh my gosh. I am loving the pastels right now. So the yellows and the blues and the pinks. This is kind of more of a black and white spread. But see, the pastels, again, really digging the pastels. So the week before, I was out of town working. Then this next weekend, my cousin had a wedding in Atlanta. So left the boys with a friend, and my husband and I decided to make it a date weekend, which was perfect. And I got to see family. This is an old photo. Let me see. There you go. An old photograph of me at my aunt's wedding, and I couldn't have been but 4. So that meant this was like 76 or so. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, but the wedding was lovely, and it was nice to get out of town with my hubby and have a little fun. And the bride was gorgeous. Okay, And week 13, so this is a light photo week. Like, it's just, I've got a lot of filler here. And there was nothing, you know, I guess I could have ran around and taken some random pictures in the house, which I have done, or taken some random pictures of like the sink or the boys' bedroom or something like that. I just let it be. So, picked my son up from drumming lessons and took a photo of them walking to the car. This was another awesome sky shot coming home from work. So I added that, ordered pizza one night, and then another night I went to the grocery store to pick up stuff to make a salad. So sometimes we do a pretty decent job eating, and other times it's just whatever is whatever. Stamped. So again, I'm trying to include some stamping. Woohoo! And then a field trip and a little bit of journaling about that. But I mean, this is filler card, filler, essentially, right? But that's just sometimes how it goes, and that's okay. All right. I ordered a bunch of books to read this summer, which I'm really excited about. Aha. So here's an example of me using the date stamp, and I think this is how I will use it again in the future, where I'm just stamping the bookends of the week, kind of the Monday to Sunday, and then I popped it up just a little bit, and then the day of the week here. So I like the way this turned out and the clean kind of look of it all. So this will work. And then look, I've got tons of journaling this week. So although the photos are fairly light, this worked well. The other thing I figured out how to do when I have lots of photos is in one of the printer photo apps that I have, to put 2 small photos here. So we had some friends over, and so that was a pretty cool thing to do that I've discovered, and so I think I'll be using that particular format in my photo app again. Okay, so week 15, journaling, the book I'm reading, getting some work done, and oh, I'm so confused. Was that not spring break for the boys? I guess I should read my own notes. Oh, maybe that was my spring break, not their spring break. This is their spring break because they're hanging out with their friends this week, and we found the new breakfast restaurant. Yep. Okay. So that was cool. Good times. The trees and stuff are budding. Husband's out getting the yard beautiful and green and nicely trimmed. I have also been getting in a little bit of painting. So this was kind of round 1 of this large canvas that I've been working on. This is round 2, and I didn't take a photo of where it stands right now, but these are the first 2 kind of evolutions of the painting. I stamped the day of the number of the week here. It's a little bit of this silver, which is really pretty. And then I stamped an old camera, and this particular stamp is from Studio Calico, probably circa 2010 or so. Okay, and what else? Photos of my eldest. It's birthday weekend for my little guy, so we took him to Benihana's for his birthday dinner, and I was able to get 2 tickets for a Trevor Noah stand-up comedy show, and so I took him. We went on a mom date to see Trevor Noah do what he does, and it was absolutely hilarious and wonderful. Let's see. Here's another example of stacking the 2 photos. This is my oldest doing a little bit of his lacrosse moves there. Photo of some of my students getting some work in, and then I had a workshop with some of my mentees, and we did some hiking and some mindfulness work, and so got some photos of that, which was really kind of fun. And in fact, I haven't journaled for this week, so this is my last Project Life entry, and I need to add the journaling right here. So these are open slots. But that means I'm basically at the end of April 24, April 30th, which puts me, essentially 4 weeks behind. Not too bad. It's been wonderful. I'm really enjoying this 9x12 format. And one of the things, let's see, I'm kind of unsure about is this particular album is almost at the full point. So I might get 1-2 more weeks in max, and then I feel like I'm gonna have to move over to another album. But what I've got to calculate is if I go to the end of May, then June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So that's 7 months. So the question is, if I can get June in, then that would give me half of the year on one album. So that's what I need to do. And again, I haven't had any inserts. So if any of you are using the 9x12 format, please let me know how many months you are getting in an album. I mean, I don't think, I'm gonna lift this up for a moment. I don't think that this is, I have a lot of stuff that's dimensional and is causing too much height. So I feel like, I mean, maybe this can take more and I'm just not seeing it, but it's gonna start coming over to the side, right? So let me know if you're using 9x12, how many weeks you are able to get into an album. But over the summer, I hope that I will be able to share a little bit. But I hope all of you have had the opportunity to scrapbook and to be creative, and let me know where you are in the process for 2017. But until next time, beautiful, beautiful souls, be well, be kind to each other, love someone, and get creative. Bye, and hugs.